Hello again everybody and welcome to today's assembly. Today I'm going to be talking about our new rules, the 3 rules that we have, which are, if you remember, ready, proud of what we do and being reflective. And so today I'm going to go into a little bit of detail about what we mean when we ask you to be ready. Being ready applies to everything that we need to do in school. There are 3 things really that need to be in place. You have to have all the stuff that you need in order to be ready for whatever job that it is that we're going to ask you to be completing. You need to have the right attitude, so your head needs to be ready to learn. You need to be happy, you need to feel safe, and you need to be dead keen to get on with whatever it is the teacher's going to ask you to do. And you need to be on time. So at the point where we need to start, you need to make sure that you are ready. And being ready isn't a skill that you only need in school. In all the things that you do in life, when you're grown up or when you're a child, there are so many times that you need to be ready. If you look at the picture here, if you're a sports person and you're not ready, then disastrous things can happen. We've got a goalkeeper here who wasn't ready. And we've got a goalkeeper here who was. So you can see the difference that being ready can make into how successful you are in carrying out any sort of task. And we'll look at another couple of people who need to be ready. Okay, so this is an orchestra. And many years ago, I used to play in a variety of orchestras, and you absolutely have to be ready if you're in an orchestra. There's up to 100 people, all got a musical instrument, all waiting for that man at the front to raise his arms, and when he waves his arms, they've all got to play at the same time. And it's absolutely no use 3 or 4 people starting to play afterwards. You've all got to be with your instruments ready. If you're a violinist or a trumpeter or a cellist or whatever instrument you play, you've got to be ready at that point where when he does that, all the notes come at the same time. Otherwise, there's a complete disaster. And it's the same with all sorts of music. If you're playing with more than one person, if you watch a rock band, you'll have the drummer giving 4 beats to begin with so that everybody knows that the 5th time he hits his sticks, that's when everybody's going to start that song. Dead important. Got to be ready. And it's the same with all jobs. You've got to be ready to make sure that you can carry out what it is you're supposed to be doing at the time you need to do it. If you're a shopkeeper and you own your own shop that opens at 9 o'clock and you turn up at 9 o'clock and start trying to get the shop ready, then people are just going to go away and not buy stuff. You've got to make sure that when your shop opens, you've got money in the till, you've got goods on the shelves, and you're ready to give people the stuff that they need. Otherwise, you won't make any money. And it's even harder for people like our NHS workers to make sure that they're ready, because they're open all the time. So they've got to make sure that as they're doing their job, they're still ready for when they need to come and see other people who are coming to the hospital later. So if the NHS wasn't ready, then it would be terrible, wouldn't it? We'd all be sitting there with injuries and illnesses that just weren't getting any better. And of course, the school staff, the office staff and myself have to be ready. So each morning when the school opens, as we open the gate, we've got to make sure that everything's in place, the registers are ready, the teachers are all in, there's nobody poorly, there's nobody absent, the classrooms are tidy, the classrooms are being cleaned, the sanitisers are full, all the stuff that has to be done before you even step through the door. We can't start doing that once you arrive, we've got to be ready. And the teachers have got to be ready. Their classroom's got to be set up. They've got to be in the classroom waiting for you to come in. They must know what they're doing for their lessons. All their lesson resources have got to be ready. The sheets have got to be photocopied. The whiteboard presentations have got to be prepared. They've got to make sure that the work's appropriate for all the children in the class. There's so much to do, and they can't start doing that when you arrive. They've got to do it before you get here. Otherwise, they'll look like this teacher in the picture, who's all confused and stressed and in all sorts of trouble and not ready to teach their lesson. That teacher, by the way, does not work at John Wheeldon. And finally, the pupils have to be ready. So you've got to be, as I said, safe in school, and you've got to feel safe. You've got to be happy in school, and you've got to tell people if either of those things aren't in place. If you're not safe and you're not happy, you won't learn. And then we need you ready, having had a good breakfast and a good night's sleep, with all your uniform and your plastic wallet in front of you with all the stuff that you need to learn for that day. And that'll lead to great learning and a smooth day and a brilliant school with fantastic children who are achieving their full potential. So all you've got to do is be ready all the time. See you next week.